What's going on, everybody? It's your man, the sophisticated gangster himself, Twan P, aka the one and only. Welcome to Sip, Smoke, and Sales. You know what it is, huh? The platform where we dive in like an Olympic swimmer about everything sales from A to Z. Yeah, we're gonna cover it like a blanket over a bed, all right? Now, again, we are here to dive into the mental, huh? I'm talking about the emotional, the physical, about sales. People don't know until you know, all right? And welcome to today's show. Everybody, I want y'all to give a warm welcome to Sip, Smoke, and Sales to my man, Keyshawn Johnson, aka the CEO with the sick flow, huh? Everybody calls him Sean Black. Y'all welcome him to Sip, Smoke, and Sales. Y'all welcome him.
What's up, Rick?
Man, what's up, fam, man? You feeling good, gang? How you doing, man?
Right.
How you doing, man? Now look, for everybody out there watching, tuning in, you already know the slogan. Relax like baby hair.
Huh.
Pour you up something to sip.
What?
We got that. Get you something to smoke.
What?
Cause we about to light that, huh? And we about to get into talking this sales-ish, huh? Are you ready? I knew you was. All right, my man Shine, man. Again,
Locked in
welcome.
tight like school lockers. We did.
Come on, man. I like that one. Yes, sir, man. Now look, it's a beautiful experience, and I'm so glad and grateful that I had the opportunity to have you on the show. Again, your government name is Keyshawn Johnson.
With an L.
But everybody calls him Shine.
That's it.
Black.
That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying? Again, blessed and highly flavored because
That's
we're
it.
chocolate.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? Are you originally from Maryland?
I am not originally from Maryland. First, let me say thank you for asking me to come on the show. I get a chance to expound on a couple of things that we have been talking about over a little bit. But no, I am not originally from Maryland. I'm from the great state of Chicago, Illinois.
Come
You
on,
did.
Midwest.
The state of Chicago.
All right.
Illinois. Illinois is a surrounding suburb of the state of Chicago.
All right. Now, I asked one question too early, so that's my bad. So what we're going to do is stop real quick. We about to get into lighting these splits up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I like to do the touche with the lighters. Touche, my
Touche.
friend. Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
All
All right,
right.
before we get to talking, brought to you by De Leon. That's what we drinking this time. My man.
Been a little minute since I drank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bite on you right there, boy. Woo! It ain't
It's
your
really good.
granddaddy's
It's
tequila.
really good. It's really good. It's really good.
Well, maybe it could be your granddaddy's
Now,
tequila.
being from Chicago,
What
right?
you got?
I want you to take people on a brief synopsis. Just give them who is Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, Keyshawn Johnson is a young man who grew up on the south side of Chicago. To my mom's, it was me, my mom, my brother growing up. I learned a lot from the south side of the city of Wynn. Most of my time young was spent in Bronzeville, 42nd and Wabash, for those who don't know. We also stayed on the east side, 73rd and South Shore Drive, but my grandmother stayed in the hundreds on the 102nd and Vincennes. You did?
Yeah, I definitely.
Well, right off Vincennes, I
Yeah,
apologize.
like a shovel. I definitely get that. So, what brought you to Maryland?
So I retired from the Army in 2014. We moved. My wife and my children and I moved to Mississippi.
All right.
I got a job offer in Maryland. I came up here.
All right.
I since have stopped working for those folks, but
And I do want to take this time to say thank you for serving.
Oh, thank you for your support.
Yeah, man. You know,
And thank
I
you for your
appreciate
service.
that. You know, I appreciate that so much, my man. So, I know that you've done some sales. You know, from probably early age. But when did you get into sales?
My first sales experience was 7 years old. I saw that there was
7
7 years old. I saw that there was a need for candy in my neighborhood. Everybody would take the walk to this store called Charlie's, or they would go down to the house store at McLean's. So I saw that everybody was going to do that. They were going to buy the candy anyway. You might as well get it from somebody that you know and trust. So I made a deal with Charlie that I can get the candy for wholesale, sometimes a little bit more, a little bit less, right? Then I would take that candy back to the block, and then people would just show up to my crib and then buy snacks from me.
So you were buying it wholesale, selling to retail.
Yes, indeed.
At 7 years old.
At 7 years old.
Man, you the truth. Yeah, I'm talking about like Abe Lincoln. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right, so what industry are you in, like currently, and what do you do in that industry?
Well, excuse me. Currently, I am in the motion picture industry, right? Film and television, and I am a television and film producer. For Veteranpreneur Visions.
Okay. All right.
We just dropped our latest film. It's on Tubi. You can catch it. It's called What Would Picasso Do? If you don't have Tubi, you can catch it on Amazon or anywhere where you stream movies. It's called What Would Picasso Do?
All right. Hey, look, I was waiting for the plug-in, like Blade.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? But ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, how did you transition from sales into movies?
The truth of the matter, all right. So
take me step by step.
That's a really good question, right?
Show.
So when I came home from Iraq, I was still stationed in Germany, and I joined the United States Army Europe Band and Chorus. Right at the time that I was there, I had some time where I could finish my degree or start my degree. So I started my degree in digital cinematography from Full Sail University. Right after I got my degree, I ran into people that could shoot. One of the people who was that I already knew was my man Drew. He like my brother. I already knew he was shooting. He shoot better than I do. Okay. My other partner, Drew's one of my business partners, and then the other partner, Sean, he shoot better than I do. Okay. They both shoot separate styles. One of them nonfiction, the other one's fiction, right? But they shoot better than I do, so I don't need to shoot with them, right? So I decided to go to business school. I got my master's degree in business, right? Okay. So that's what I do for my company. I still do sales and business for my brand. And I think that I went to film school just so I could know the pieces that it takes to put a successful film together. Mm-hmm. And that's, I believe, us working in tandem like that is what led to the success that we've had.
All right. So let me ask you, what made you, because that's a beautiful transition, and the fact that you're still doing it, right, behind the scenes, that's awesome, right? But for the people out there viewing, what made you want to do sales or go into business management, or what was the mindset that shifted? Like, all right, I know I'm nice at sales, I gotta take it to over here.
Well, to be completely honest, I was blessed to have an entrepreneur in my family that I had close access to. My Uncle Nathan, most people call him Mr. Mr. Edwards. He owns the oldest black owned cleaning the oldest black owned concentrated cleaning product in the world.
And what's his name again?
Mr. Edwards. The name of the product is Advantage 20X. We got 4 different flavors, and we've been out since 1980. But I had him as a resource when I was young, so I looked up to him. He wouldn't let me go sell door to door for him, but he allowed me to spend a lot of time in the office. And in that time, I got a chance to see how he articulated business. And to be completely honest, going to get my business degree was just to prove that all my business acumen that I learned young was already applicable to the industry.
All right, and about what age were you when you were like around your uncle?
Woo! From birth, like he's my grandmother's brother. So I mean, I've been around him legitimately all my life, except for the times when he would spend time on the road, right? But when he would come home, he would typically have a barbecue or some type of get together. But we also, my great grandfather, his father was alive. We would do family dinner every Thursday, and he would be there. So I would get a chance to pick his brain really, really young. So if you are a person that does have access to an entrepreneur, just kind of pick their brain with the questions that you have. It can make you successful.
All right, well, juice of that. That's what I'm talking about. Joining us and creating expansion. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
What kept you? Like, what's the one thing that kept you like locked in to see the task through? Because to have a master's in business management, that's not something you're just waking up and getting.
Well, to be completely honest, my master's degree is in entertainment business. It's legitimately, I got a degree for all of the people that I know who do entertainment, so I could help them. But I got it for that reason, right? I used to be a hip hop artist. I'm still a hip hop artist for real, but like I used to be an artist struggling for management, right? Had hot bars and people used to tell me I had bars, but I would go and I didn't know how to articulate the industry. I couldn't move through the industry the way I needed to. I met people who are young filmmakers and who were young filmmakers who needed this little bit of guidance. So I went to get my business degree for them. And like, that's what I'm available as now, just like a resource to do that. But that's what is helping our business move forward because my partners trust me to do the business.
That's always a beautiful thing, right?
Indeed.
When you got their trust, the money's going up your way, right? And that's what I'm talking
about. Like salmon.
Huh? Yeah. All right, so like, let's dive into like, again, because you know, Sip Smoke and Sales, I like to get into the mental, and I want people out there viewing to understand, like characteristics that you had to take up to use as a part of yourself to achieve the things that you achieve. So what are 2 characteristics like that you particularly used and are currently still using?
Man, so to be completely honest, right now y'all getting the like scaled down. I'm trying to be a little bit in the do bounds version of Sean. But you have to have some energy. If you're not outside with energy, I don't understand what you outside
What
for.
you outside for?
Go back inside. Unless you outside trying to energize from the sun. That's always a thing sometimes. But if you don't get the vitamin D from the sun, get it from mushrooms. But so you got to have energy. That's number 1. But then you also got to have the ability to relate to people. And how do you relate to people? By understanding the human condition. Everybody's coming from somewhere. Don't take the time to put your story on other people. Take the time to listen to the story. When you listen to the story a little bit, right, you find out how to get inside. You did.
All right. I definitely can do that one. That's what I'm talking about. And you better be taking notes out there. Mm-hmm. Again, that was a jewel you just dropped on you. Like, again, the 2 characteristics. Everybody's gonna have something different to say. But 2 characteristics that you just gave are vitally important. It's one of the first 3 to 4 things I think in sales or in the sales sphere. You know what I'm saying? That you have to grasp a hold of, and you got to really take by the reins. You know what I'm saying? All right. So all great salespeople pull from somewhere, right? Whether it been like a quote, text, book, audio tape, something like that. Give me where you pulled your stuff from to make Keyshawn Johnson.
Shit, my
the
baby's got to eat.
with the 6 flow.
My baby's got to eat.
Yeah.
You feel me? I ain't never been outside and felt like I'm not gonna feed my babies. You dig? And that's my wife
so
and my babies.
That's the same. My baby's gotta eat.
My baby's gotta eat. Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. And
right there in my mirror.
If you stand in the way of my baby's eating, right? If you stand in the way of my baby's eating, I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna stand in the way for long. That's the truth. And that's how I grew up. The guys who taught me, well, I'm not even gonna say the guys. The people who taught me how to be that type of person, right? How to stand up for my family were all people who stood on the terra firma, right? They was 10 toes down, and they didn't take no for an answer because they knew that no was just an articulation of maybe later, right? And I don't mean that in the sense like the no means no sense. I mean, but when they trying to get to feeding their families, they never let obstacles stand all the way in the way. You did.
Yep. And just to piggyback on that, because I know there's gonna be different people that view this as like when you just gave that analogy for no, right? Mm-hmm. They're gonna say, oh, well, I use it. I love it. I've never heard that before. You know what I'm saying? Because when I usually hear no, I know it's usually in my mind there's 2 different ones. Mm-hmm. There's N-O, you don't want to be bothered with this. It. And then there's K-N-O-W. You're not knowledgeable about why, what, what's going on. You don't know. Since you're not knowledgeable, that's my job to make you knowledgeable. So that's the no I hear when I'm at the door. When people be like, nah, I'm not interested.
See, so then that leads to something though, right? Because there's a thing called needs-based selling, right? And this is how
it's called
needs-based selling. I learned this from a dude that used to work at Sprint named Jeff Schnall, right? I don't know if I can say his name or whatever have you, but that's who taught me needs-based selling. He taught me how to use what I was already doing as needs-based selling. This is the trick. The very first thing you do, if you have a product, you don't just walk up and just say, hey, buy my product, because people are going to say no, right? So what you do is you find out what they need. Do you, for example, if I'm selling telephones, right? I'm not just going to show you all of the phones I got, because you might not need all of these phones. I'm going to ask you, what do you do in your daily life? What do you do in your daily life, right? Yep. Ask you what type of features you use on the phone, right? Things like that to get you comfortable with telling me, oh, okay, well, yeah, this is what you started to think, oh, well, this guy cares about what I get, right? Based on what you told me, I suggest these 2 products. One of them is exactly what you need. The other one is a little bit slightly higher, slightly performing better, right? After you see those 2 options, I just told you it's based on what you told me. Mm-hmm. You know this is your idea. You a guaranteed sale right there.
The jewels, people. Jewels. Patented to them.
You're guaranteed. Because you
guaranteed.
just told me that this is what you want. I didn't pick this for myself. I didn't come and say you gotta buy it. You said I need this thing. I said I got these two options, and you chose an option.
This is true. And I'm famous, almost infamous, for using people's words against them in sales. It's like if I'm at the door, just some advice going out there to the people. If I'm at the door and I'm talking to you and you say something to me, like, hey, sir, what's one of the most irritating things you do when it comes to cleaning, right?
Yeah.
And you say, my car, right? And I show you on your car. Right after I showed you this, the next statement is, and you did say that this was the hardest thing that you encountered, right?
That's it.
That's
But you're not using the words against them. You're
No.
using the words with them.
there it is.
You just told me this.
You told me this.
You said this what you want.
You gave up the info.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you know. So
I didn't make you do it. Huh? I walked in, I asked you a question, you decided to answer my question. You could have said, hey, man, I'm not answering the questions today. But then when you say that to me, I'm going to ask you why.
And you going to answer the question.
Come on, man. It's all about the conversation, the art of conversation. If you are a conversationalist, some people just don't have that. They don't have the ability to converse with people like that. And there's a lot of good salespeople who will die in the sales industry because of that reason, right? But if you're not a good conversationalist,
And why?
right?
Can you elaborate before you go on that? Like, why would they?
Yeah, because
perish
they
when it comes to?
begin to think, right, that they not gonna get an opportunity to jump in and say the things that they need to say, or they may say the wrong thing and push people away. It's not like that, right? You don't have to be a great conversationalist. I know a lot of people tell you, hey, look, no, you're doing it wrong. No, play to your strengths. If you're not a good conversationalist, how do you usually relate to people, right? Maybe it's a picture, right? Maybe it's a pair of shoes. Maybe it's a shirt. Maybe it's a jacket. Use a compliment. Hey, I like that shirt. Oh, okay, yeah, well, I just got this set. Well, now that you're talking about the shirt, hey. You did.
Segue is vicious.
You
man.
gotta always find a segue, man. There's an easy way into every conversation. You just gotta take the opportunity.
All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that answer. That's again taking notes. I hope you guys are. You know what I'm saying? Because here on Sip Smoke and Sales, that's what we do. We're giving out tutelage for free. You know what I'm saying? If you're paying attention, you know what I'm saying? I always know this. Being dumb enough to listen and smart enough to follow through. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, the man that you mentioned, your uncle,
Yes.
right? Nathan
Mr.
Edwards, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Edwards, as we call him, Mr. E.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? While you were visiting him, you know, when he came back and cookouts and all the other stuff, when he was in the other spot with the crew, that's where I was.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So like Mr. Edwards is one of the great 5 pillars to my foundation. And he changed again the person that I was into the person that you see before you today. He has a big reason. When times get tough, because times really don't get tough. I get tough times, hard times. You know what I'm saying? I rely on 5 figures, and that's Amy Watson, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Davis, Mrs. Davis, and a guy named Charles Jesse James, which is my father-in-law. These are my 5 pillars. Those my foundation can never crumble. My foundation can never start to decay. My mental can't be thrown. I have too much great tutelage. I come from too much great of a cloth that was stitched together by guides. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like I do appreciate again all the information you give these people. But when he was there, because you told me at one point in time that you wanted to actually knock on doors.
I did.
And get that experience.
I did.
Yeah. And what was the reason behind that? Like,
I don't. Okay.
like what were you missing that made you like, man, I want to go out. I want to go out there.
So for me, I felt like I wanted to know, like, how it felt. I knew I could do door-to-door sales. That's not a problem. I could sell stuff, right?
I mean,
So
you've been selling since 7, so yeah.
right. So it was like, for me, I really just wanted to see what it was like to go door to door. My uncle let everybody go, for real. Like it's a few of us, he's like, nah, you can't go on the road. But like, he let everybody else go. And I really was angry. Like my brother even went.
Oh wow.
So like,
That's great.
I just really wanted the opportunity. But after I grew up, I understood kind of why he didn't want me to go, right? somebody really did have to learn the business side of the office, right? And if everybody's knocking on doors and nobody's coming inside to learn the business side, then how do we move the company forward in the 21st century, 22nd century, you know what I'm saying? How do we keep it going for the generations? Which is what his mindset was when he started the company in 1980.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate him not making me go on the road, but I have done everything else at the building. I worked in the factory, putting labels on bottles. I did packaging. I did building boxes. I did pallet work. I did like actual cleaning up the office. I did shredding papers. I did everything else at the office.
I understand. Probably depositing, doing all that stuff. There's a lot that goes into it. You know what I'm saying?
We on the revamp though. We building something grand though, and this is,
you know this.
That's the best part though.
Yeah. Don't call us Bob.
Mm-hmm.
We're building over here though. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you, how do you, CEO with the sick flow, overcome adversity? Like, what's one of your things that you can give to the people? Like when you come against it. Things when you were up against it, like what did you use?
To be completely honest, I lean on scripture. I've been leaning on scripture since I was a little kid. I didn't really understand everything when I was young, but my journey was what it was. I started off as a young Christian boy. I'm now a grown, full Jewish man, and there was a path to get there.
You said a Jewish man?
Yeah, I'm a Jewish man. I put my keeper on the side over here,
okay.
But I am a Jewish man, and it was a long journey getting there, but the only thing that I've ever been able to rely on is Hashem. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot of the worst that the world has to offer. And the only thing that's made me get through those circumstances, right, is the Creator.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And so, I mean, you kind of covered both of the questions. I would say how that affected you as a person you came today, but you just said that.
Yeah, well, it was, the journey was dope because, I grew up as a young Christian boy. By the time I was 12, I was wondering like why people prayed to Jesus, right? So my mom told me to ask the preacher, right? So, you know, I started asking questions. I asked the youth pastor. He told me to ask the head pastor, and it started this journey of self-discovery, but also appreciation for the scripture, right? And I think that was the beautiful part because the more I studied and the more I learned, the more I understood how powerful I was and that I could do anything that I put my mind to, right? The reality is the creator of heavens and earth gave me breath, right? So anywhere where people are allowed to breathe, I could go there. And if I'm there, I could do whatever I want to do when I get there, as long as it's not unethical, immoral, right? Or causing some type of travesty, right? I'm here to win.
All right. Yep. All we do is win, no matter what. Yeah. So there's a saying, right? It's not what you do. I always ask this question. Mm-hmm. When someone's watching you, it's a thing that you do when nobody's watching, right?
Yes.
So what's one thing that you can give somebody like wanting to, you know what I'm saying, maybe dive into sales for their first time? They may want to sell some candy to the neighborhood. They may want to do something, but if it's like one thing that you would give them as advice to do when no one's looking, what would that one piece of advice be?
Study your craft. When you have downtime, right? Study what you're trying to be a part of. It may not look like you doing any forward motion to everybody outside of you, right? Outside of your, just people that's not you are going to look at you and say, okay, well, they're not making no movement, but study, right? Because the more you study, the more you're going to know about how to maneuver, right? So when you see it look like people made shortcuts, they didn't. They were studying, and all of them that time that they spent studying, the 10,000 hour rule, right? All of them 10,000 hours that they spent studying make it look like they could do it in the snapshot. But that's from the study. The more you know, the more you grow. And that's real for real rapper.
Yeah, that really is. I've heard that my whole upbringing and stuff. You know, like, yeah, the more you know, the more you grow. It's really true. Oliver Holmes said it. Once man's mind, man or woman's, because we don't want to single this out. Once people's minds are stretched, you can never return back to the original dimension.
That's it.
And again, it's just a universal law, right? Right now is one of my favorite points of time. You know what I'm saying? Where we get into, we get a little off kilter. We're gonna stop the sales talk. So it's called crazy sales story time, people. You know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking everybody. I don't care. I want to know what happened to you that was crazy. Whether you've been in the office setting, whether you were out knocking doors, because again, you sold candy and you did other sales in between that. So I mean, you've been on a vast, you've been on a good journey in the sales, in the sales field, like I like to call it. It was different avenues you had to go through, right?
Indeed.
So give me one of the craziest stories that you had. Something happened to you.
All right. So.
Let's take a sip before we do it. I want to marinate on this. You want?
Okay, so this is about a week-long process. I'm just starting working with Sprint, and my supervisor, Jeff, comes in the store. He says, oh, that's the other guy. I'm going to tell y'all his name. He says, oh, I want to have a contest. You're one of our best sales guys. Sean's one of our newest guys. I want to see who can sell more phones. I said, Sean, I'm going to give you an advantage. I'm going to say that you sold 5 phones. I said, okay. Right? So we get to selling. Boom. Jeff leaves. Boom. We working in the Staples. Like the Staples, office store. So, boom, I'm walking around. I'm talking to people, having conversations, whatnot. I'm coming back writing sales. Boom. I just keep coming back to the desk, write sales. I look at Oscar, he playing, with his demo phone, a whole bunch. Jeff comes back a few hours later. He says, hey, so how did we do? I said, I got 12. He said, what's up with the 5 I gave? Oh, with the 5 you gave me, that's 17. I said, oh, how you did? He said, I said, you can have them 5 that he gave me if you need that to. He said, well, with that 5, I make 7. Here's the reality. I was out there trying to feed my babies. Oscar was out there. Damn, I said the boy's name, but he was out there trying to pretend that he was the guy. It's not about who you know, fam. It's how you do what you do, right?
It's true.
They decided to move me to one of their best performing stores. Just happened to be on 14th Street. It was a Circuit City back when Circuit City existed.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Ready to go.
So I'm standing in the Circuit City. They got this new phone now called the Time Port from Motorola, right? Mm-hmm. In walks Leon, singing, movie acting Leon.
You talking about
the Leon?
You talking about Temptation?
That Leon.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'm like,
that's why the story crazy.
It's only one Leon. You know what I'm saying? Like
he sliding the door, and I looked at him. I said, "What? Is that from the Temptations?" He said, "Hey man, not today." I said, "Look, I don't know what you're doing in the store today, but it looks like you might need a communication device." Right? He said, well, tell me about this new phone. Boom. Sold him a phone right there on the spitty. Okay. That day proved to them that I knew how to sell. The very next day, Jeff taught me needs-based selling. I went from doing 17 phones a day to between 35 and 50 phones a day. I was at every single best performing store that Sprint will put swatters at, right? And I helped develop the program that you see now when you go to these stores and see phone displays from different companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's real life.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right. So, one more thing happened during that week.
All right, so
I'm working for Sprint, right? There's another company called VoiceStream Wireless, right? It's one of the competitors. They are now known as T-Mobile.
Okay.
Right? The CEO was standing in the store that day. The East Coast general manager was standing in the store that day, right? In the Staples. Mm-hmm. Lady from Africa comes in. She says, hey, I need 1,000 phones that I could take back to Africa. And I want them from you, right? Because she liked my personality. I said, well, ma'am, I work for Sprint. There's no way that Sprint doesn't have GSM technology, so we can't send it across the seas, right? I said, well, there's VoiceStream Wireless, right? I sold her $1,100 phones in the store with the general manager from the East Coast watching me sell these phones. He offered me a job on the spot to be his right-hand man. Couldn't take it though because I was so impressed by what Sprint had given me that I stayed at Sprint. That's real, for real rap. One of the craziest moments I ever had in sales history.
That's great. That's a good grip of money. You know what I'm saying? That's a good grip of money, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? All right, the double whammy.
Had I known they was going to get bought out by T-Mobile, though, it might have been a different decision, though.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But again, when people, and this is something for you salespeople out there, you unenthusiastic, you unenergetic, you Michael Jackson Thriller dancing, sliding down the street, walking people. You know what I'm talking about. One thing he said that was key, that resonated with me, is that 1,000 phones that she got for $100 a pop, she walked in and said, I want that from you. Now, it had been either the aura that he was giving off or just conversation, whether it been even in the hello, in the introduction, or it was something that maybe he called her attention.
It's because I cared about her problem. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna
No, please do.
But it's because I cared about her problem.
They need to know.
As a salesperson, that's what you have to do. You have to care about the problem that you are trying to solve, right? If you don't care about the problem that you're trying to solve, why are you trying to solve it? And how could the people that you're trying to solve it for relate to you trying to solve it if you don't care?
It's true. And and again, I think it was vitally beautiful. It's something I do. I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. I am I'm overflow up. I am enthusiasm. So it's like I don't have to turn it on and turn it off. It just stays on 24/7. And people be like, man, you always
That's why my wife mad.
Yeah. That's why my wife is mad. You know what I'm saying? Like she be like, not right now. At 12 o'clock, really? You trying to make one line? But when people feel you, that's why again, people be saying luck. I don't believe in luck. I think that's an acronym for labor under correct knowledge.
That's it, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm knowledgeable about the labor I'm doing.
That's it.
Because I'm happy about this. Also, I'm enthusiastic. Because any job, at the end result is what?
That's it.
It's money.
That's
it. You need money to survive.
It's all transactional.
All transactional, right? So if you have that enthusiasm, that love for it, it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, right? So what would be one selling technique that you would tell a young person that just got into sales, you see potential in them? They got the glow like Bruce Leroy, right?
Ooh.
And you see him, you like, one thing I need you to master is, and it's off top, what would that one thing be?
Needs-based selling. You have to, I'm telling you, you can use it everywhere. It's not just, once you start using it for sales, you'll see how it applies to your life, right? Because you are providing the need that a person is specifically asking you for. You're not even getting outside of what they want. You are literally you asking them what they want, right? Imagine, I'm saying, listen, the one and only. You telling me, how do you drink? Oh, well, I usually drink tequila. Okay, well, I got these 2 tequilas. One of them is Joe Schmo tequila from down the street, right? Based on
I went to school here.
Right,
yeah.
Based on the flavors, the profile that you told me you're looking for, right? I've suggested these 2 things, right? I'm going to give you this one that's going to be regular, right? Especially depending on personality. I'll give you this thing that's going to be regular, and I'm going to give you this thing that's going to be slightly elevated so you can feel a little bit of flexing, right? Flex on them a little bit. Boom. Now you're going to buy this one. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's their own desire to have to fulfill their need that you are providing the opportunity to close the gap on. That's why you in the position that you in.
Okay. So when it comes to like training, right? Because I know you trained before, right?
Yeah.
What's the effective sales training method that you use, other than like the needs-based selling? Because
what I really like to do is I like to teach people how to kind of be relatable, right? It's steps that it depends on what you're selling, right? But it's steps to how you have to perform in each environment. If you are outside selling, right, there's a different tactic to get people to see who you are, right? Because you have to sometimes,
looking through the blinds on you, know what I'm saying?
You have to actually talk to, you have to be outside of your body, you have to talk a little bit. If you are knocking doors, right, people have to trust you enough to open the door to talk to you, right? If you inside, you have to grab somebody's attention, especially in a department store or something like that. If you stand in the Best Buy trying to sell earphones, right? Somebody coming in to buy a TV, you want him to buy your earphones, right? He focused on the TV, or they focus on TV, right? How do you get them to get to the TV? You have to talk to them. You have to build the rapport. And if you can't build rapport, right, study people who can. If you don't study the people who you can, get out the industry. You're not going to survive because you're going to run into a guy like me.
Okay.
I'm a shark. When I'm outside, I'm ABC. I always be closing. I'm closing all day. It's not a time when I'm not trying to finish the sale. I'm always closing. So if you come up against me and we in a competition, I'm a shark. I'm gonna eat you.
It's going down.
I'm going to eat you.
Yeah.
And if you can't survive, I'm gonna show you why you should, right? Because I'm not the type of shark that's just gonna chew you up and then that's the end of the dinner. No, I'm gonna restore you, right? And I'm gonna build up your confidence. But by the time we done, we gonna be a school of sharks though.
Cool, my man. All right, so you're making a creative player. Put this in your mind.
Woo.
You're creating a player.
Okay.
First 3 characteristics that you give them to me.
Man, stamina.
As far as sales,
Stamina. Yeah. Confidence.
And why stamina?
Stamina because sometimes you can get discouraged from not getting a sale, and that could lower your energy level. But if you have the stamina to persevere through that, right, you can see the goodness on the other side, right? Confidence because when you do get down for when you're not closing one, right? When you get down, that confidence is going to give you the opportunity to realize that there's always tomorrow, right? You got another shot tomorrow, all right? But make that one your best shot,
Make that one, all right.
right? And if you always make tomorrow your best shot, you're never losing because you'll be better than you was yesterday. Don't let that go over your head.
And what's number 3?
Then the third one will have to be integrity, right?
Please elaborate on that, bro.
Because integrity not only means doing what's right when no one else is looking, but it also means like believing in what you're doing, right, when nobody else believes. If you don't believe in your products, you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your conversation, how could anybody else believe in those things?
Sure.
If you don't believe, I'm telling you, nobody else is sold. Come on, man.
If you ain't sold,
How you gonna sell me?
You're never gonna sell me. You gotta be sold. And that's why I give themselves personalities. I love people that are sold on themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what draws me to people.
That's it.
What advice would you give to someone that's trying to take it to the next level? If you was being brief and brilliant like a smart midget.
Man, be persistent. Be persistent. Obstacles are just there to show you how to get to the other side. You did?
Yep. I will persist until I succeed. I say it to myself all the time, man. I will persist until I succeed. And again, if that didn't come of any avail, right? I gotta knock on the next one. I gotta go to the next one. I gotta move to the next. It doesn't really matter. I gotta get it done, and I won't stop until I get a sale.
That's it.
Then I will retire. I'm not gonna retire on just me like, oh, it didn't work out, like kicking rocks down the street like that. Oh no, you better not walk to the mailbox.
Bro.
Let me see you because it's going down.
If you can't quit, don't quit on yourself. Right before you quit, I'm telling you, the next corner, your victory is right around the next corner.
I've learned this.
It is right around the next corner.
People don't believe it.
Bruh, every time you quit, the next corner was the one that you should have went around.
All right, and my last question for you, my G. My last question. What advice would you give to someone that's coming out of a sales slump? Like, there's people out there, and I'm sorry to cut you off, to elaborate. Like, there's people out there that, they may not even know they in a sales slump. They in a funk. They in a rut. They're doing the insanity thing, right?
Yep.
Doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, well, I'm reading, I'm listening to it, and I'm doing, and it's like you're bumping your head, right? But what advice would you give to someone? Because I've been there, and I pulled my own self out. You know what I'm saying? I pulled other people out. What advice would you give to someone that's actually going through it?
Remember why you got started. Remember the reason why you got started. That drive and that hunger that drove that first reason why you got started doing whatever it is that you was doing. When you broke them first couple sales and you was like, this is it. Remember that reason. That was there for a reason. Right? The sages in Judaism teach that there is nobody that could be born like you throughout any transmigration of time because there would be no reason for you to exist if it were. Right? And if that's the case, that means that when you had that reason before, and it was lighting that electricity up in you, that same thing can get you motivated to get it popping again.
Spoken like a real genius. I'm telling you, like listen to a sales genius. There's certain people when you meet them, you know what I'm saying. You know already, and the conversations I have is just always gonna be gold. This has been another episode, people. Thank y'all for tuning in to Sip, Smoke, and Sales. It's your man, Twan P, the sophisticated gangster, aka the one and only, and I was here with Mr. Keyshawn, the CEO with the flow, Johnson.
That's it.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming to the show. Much blessings in all endeavors that you come, because again, you're one of those beacons of hope, and people get gravitated towards that very easy.
I try my best. Y'all can catch me, man, Sean Black 07 on all social media, and VentrepreneurVisions.com is the website. Please check us out. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the love. I love y'all, and there's nothing y'all can do about it.
Yep.
Come rock with me.
Yep. Like, subscribe, check me out like an item from the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, you know what it is, man. Until the next episode, people. Peace.